بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
All right, in this explainer, we are diving into one of the shortest, but wow, one of the most powerful chapters from the Quran, Surah Al Masad, which translates to the palm fiber. It may be short, but it packs an incredible punch with some really vivid imagery and a prophecy that is just direct and unyielding.
And this chapter wastes absolutely no time. It opens with this incredibly stark, super dramatic pronouncement. I mean, there's no gentle introduction here. It just jumps right in with a curse. And that immediately sets this fierce, uncompromising tone for the whole thing.
So you gotta ask, right? Who exactly is this father of flame? And what's the deal with this curse? In this first part, we're going to unpack who the target of this divine condemnation really is.
Okay, so let's start with the name itself, because it's key. Abu Lahab literally translates to father of flame. Now, this wasn't his birth name, it was a title, an honorific, given to one of Prophet Muhammad's most intense opponents. And it's so much more than just a name. It's this core piece of symbolism that the chapter uses with, well, devastating effect.
And this is where you can see the sheer precision of that opening verse. Just look at the structure here. It says, perish the hands and perish he. So this is actually a dual curse. It's not just condemning the man himself, but also his actions, his power, his efforts. All of that is symbolized by his hands.
Now, the chapter doesn't just stop with a curse. It immediately follows up with a prophecy. And this next part makes a crystal clear statement about how useless worldly power and all your possessions really are in the grand scheme of things.
And you can just feel the stark contrast here, can't you? On one side of the scale, you've got everything Abu Lahab probably trusted in, all his wealth, all his gains, but the divine verdict on the other side is absolute. None of it. None of it will profit him or save him from his destiny. It's a pretty powerful message about the limits of material success.
And this is where his name comes full circle. The punishment directly mirrors his title, Father of Flame. The text prophesies that he will enter a fire of blazing flame. I mean, the poetry of it is just inescapable. His very identity foreshadows his own end.
But hold on, the story isn't over. The prophecy actually expands its scope, pulling in another figure, Abu Lahab's wife. And this shows that this fate, it's not his alone to bear.
So this brings up the natural next question, one that the chapter itself goes on to answer. The condemnation is super specific to Abu Lahab, but, he wasn't acting in a vacuum. What about his primary accomplice? What about his wife?
And here, the imagery gets even more intricate and, frankly, chilling. Her fate is described in two parts. First, her action. She's depicted as a carrier of wood, literally gathering the fuel for the fire. Then, second, you have her consequence. She'll have a rope of palm leaf fiber around her neck. Think about that. The very material she might have been gathering becomes the instrument of her own punishment. It's this powerful, self-contained story of poetic justice.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap of everything we've just seen. This table really lays out the chapter's tight, brilliant structure. It starts with the image of perishing hands. That's the curse being pronounced. Then it moves to the blazing flame, which is a statement on how wealth is totally useless against your fate. And it wraps everything up with the twisted rope, showing a shared and deeply poetic fate. In just 5 short verses, it tells a complete, powerful story.
And that kind of leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. This text is a prophecy aimed with laser-like precision at 2 specific people, way back in 7th century Arabia. So how on earth does a text that's so specific continue to hold universal meaning for people all over the world more than 1,400 years later? Maybe it's because those themes of arrogance, of consequence, and of ultimate justice, well, those are just timeless. And that, right there, is the enduring power of these 5 short verses.